We're back with Heather Beer talking about how to make it through your marriage, through the tough times. There are certain things we have to be careful about doing, though, when we, with our partner. The criticism is one of them, right?
Yeah. Back to John Gottman that I mentioned a few moments ago. He says that there are 4 key detrimental ingredients to when a marriage is really going downhill. He calls them the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And when they come galloping in, then it's bad news. But they are criticism, contempt, stonewalling, and defensiveness. And so criticism, we know what that is, but that's basically, it's more than a complaint. It's like saying you at the core of your being are bad or wrong or I hate you, you know, like those types of messages. Because you can complain about a person or to a person, and that can still be constructive. But when it's like you always blah blah blah, or you just are out to get me, or you know, those types of things, then it's more attacking their character. And then with criticism, that just can become such a negative constant. You know, people can just get into such patterns of just persistent criticism. You know, you can't do anything right. And men especially just really take a toll. That really takes a toll on them. Men have a pressure just kind of innately inside of them to achieve and to provide and to protect their family. And the criticism oftentimes from a wife can just really tear them down inside, and they might not say anything about it. And then that's kind of when trouble can start. And then defensiveness, of course. Defensiveness is just saying, it could be a simple thing that's brought up, and you say, you know, hey, what was this about? And then the other person, rah, 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 you know, kind of jumps down your throat, basically saying, you're wrong, you know, immediately. That's just the message, you're wrong. You know, with defensiveness. And then stonewalling is kind of an interesting thing in that it's done more by men, because when negative feelings and anger get stirred up inside us, our heart rate rises, we start to sweat, our hands might shake, you know, we get really physically...
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight, exactly. And so women have a little bit more tolerance for that, just because of the hormones that our brains have going on, oxytocin and whatnot.
Calm down a little bit faster.
Yep.
Okay.
And men, it tends to build and build, and they don't know what to do with it because they take a little bit longer to process complex emotional data than women do. And so they just get so flooded that it's just like, I can't respond to anything. I can't engage this. It's so negative. And so what you get is a stone wall.
Do they withdraw and just don't communicate at all?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And you will see women do that. It's more, I think Gottman says maybe 80% is typically men who will stonewall.
So let's flip the script, because we've got about 2 minutes here. Let's talk about the phoenix of marriage. You talked about the sort of the death. What's the phoenix, the resurrection of it, if you will? And
well, the resurrection would be when 2 people see what's going on and say, we don't want this death, this, you know, we don't want this for ourselves, and we want better for our kids, you know, because the kids are watching, whether you think they're hearing or seeing things or not, they really are, because they really catch things more than we think.
Yeah.
And so I think when 2 people can say, okay, this isn't fun, I don't like you right now, I don't like what's going on, but we really need to get some help for the sake of our own health, for the sake of our kids' health. And when you just get some professional help, there is no shame in asking for help whatsoever.
Not at all.
And the sad thing is that Gottman again says that many couples will wait 7 years after problems start before they'll get professional help, and that is a really long time. And some of those horsemen, some of the really negative patterns can just really set in and become embedded, and that takes a lot of work. I mean, marriage counseling should take 6-12 months, you know, at least, to really work through those deep-seated things.
you know, it's funny, and maybe we talk about this in another segment, but you talked about how society says, oh, you get married, it's going to be perfect, but there's also this, I think, sort of negative stereotype if you are married and go get help, and that's not necessarily good either, because there is no
Throw that out the
book
window.
or manual on how to do this.
Right, there isn't. And so the best thing you can do is involve someone who is a third party, who can be objective, who can pull out, you know, what are your dreams? What are your desires? What did you start this marriage with? What did you want for the 2 of you? What did you envision? You know, and to kind of get back to that and to mend those hearts.
Yeah.
Other than a house in Florida, right?
Other than that, yes.
Heather Beer, thank you so much. We appreciate your advice this morning. We'll be right